Hey guys, what's up? PickyGamer here. This is going to be a little unusual episode because I'm recording my voice after I played the game. And that's happened because I'm an idiot and I somehow didn't record my voice whilst I was recording the video. So, a big derp moment for me. Basically, I'll have to talk you through this recording, and we got a contract offer from Ferrari, and at the moment my preview screen looks a little dodgy and it's hard for me to read it, although it will be clear for you guys. Basically it's just that they're offering me a contract, but they want me to start immediately, and that's this season, and I've decided not I've decided not to take this contract offer because then, you know, Ferrari's lower in the construction championship compared to the current team that I'm with, which is what is it, Lotus. So yeah, I'll stick with this for the time being. We'll see if we get a contract offer throughout the season or at the end of the season, and we're going to start the practice run here. Yeah, so we're at the Italian Grand Prix, which is the Ferrari's home ground. Pretty much, this is where their Ferraris get tested. It's pretty much built for power and speed, and so I go straight to very low downforce, maximum speed straight away. Here comes the qualifying now. Yeah, this is a little weird for me. So here I am, forgetting to open my DRS until now. Going off the track, having a dirt moment, and miss my break point, miss it completely. Go on and off and back on the track, and lose out big time. So I had a very bad start to a track that doesn't it hurts you each time you stuff up, because this course you're pretty much on the accelerator. I think in real life it's like 74% of the time, because it's just very long, very straight. You don't have to slow down too much for the corners except that very first one. So yeah, you see me here. I do make up a little bit of time, but as you can see, he's over in the foreground. At the time, I think it was Vettel, although I don't believe he qualified first. So I had a very good second and third sections of the track, but that first one is what destroyed any hope I had of qualifying inside the top 10. And I think my team wanted 4th from me, and I ended up 16th on the grid for tomorrow's race. Not a good result for us. Bad luck. And Hamilton came second. So you know, again, you know, in the real audio, I'm spewing again, going, yeah, no, you can't catch a break with that guy. Yeah, they wanted me to finish 4th or above, which was very, very doable. I'm very strong at this track. Time spent on track, I think that's 4 hours and 46 minutes, which makes sense because it's roughly half an hour episode. No, it should be more, shouldn't it? Roughly half an hour, and that means what? An hour's 2 episodes. Standing by. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, there should be more there than. Oh well. And so the race begins. So here I am, talking about, okay, I at least want to be 8th by the end of this lap, I remember saying. Set up my car, the fuel mix, and information display that I need. And launching off, spin tires a little, grip, use the curves, and pretty okay starts. I'm getting pretty average average starts now. Nothing blazing, but go up the inside, get back a hell of a lot of positions, and I was shocked there. I'm trying to avoid people, and I come out of the first corner 8th, and I'm like, well, okay, I've already met my requirements that I need for this lap. But do you think that's enough for me? No. Taking on the outside, Hulkenberg. It's Massa ahead. Outbrake him. And trying to get Weber, but Weber stayed to the outside. I gave him space, but able to get past him in the end. Now I'm thinking, oh, we've got to keep up with Vettel here, because there's a long straightaway coming here, and I want to draft him. But I'm not close enough, and I'm more afraid of the other cars behind me. But it looks like Weber's in the mini-map, he's having trouble of his own, so he's not able to attack me. Okay, so finishing the first lap in 5th, I'm like, well, this is really good, and now talking about I've got Vettel ahead of me, and then I'll go, oh crap, Hamilton's first. And I'm spewing, I'm like, oh, I can't buy a break with that dude. Get to the outside of Vettel in that corner. Stay as much as I can on the track to make sure he's behind me, and I'm like, yes, okay, going good. What do I normally say? It's like, oh, that's a good corner, all good corner there. Trying to get Rosberg, and I do, and I believe I hit him. That's why I looked back like, oh, I believe my rear tyre must have made pretty heavy contact somewhere on him. I guess I'm close enough to Alonso to draft him. I'm not sure whether I get him here. Save the fuel, and I'm obviously quite fast. I get him here, don't I? Yeah. So draft him here, try and gain as much speed. As you remember, I've set my car up for the maximum output speed, no downforce, and this just helps me breeze by him, because they probably got a bit more downforce set than I do. Here's some curves going into this last corner. I didn't understand why Alonso wasn't drafting me. Normally it should be exactly the path I'm driving. And fastest lap to me, Hamilton's first, so I set on him, and I'm like, oh, well, I was just spewing that. I'm like, he needs that mechanical favour or something for me to try and at least have some sort of chance in this championship. So it's about consistency and trying to figure out, am I gaining on him or not, and stuffed up those corners a bit, allowing Alonso to close up. So I'm like, let's do this. So we cross the line, and I'm like, okay, 3.1 seconds behind him. Alonso's in DRS range. Okay, knuckle down for consistency, consistent lap times before my first pit stop, because the soft tyres go off, quick for me, or I think I'm just a very rough driver in Formula 1. And as You see I'm gaining on him, 2.4 seconds, so that was, what, 0.7 of a second faster, so almost a second faster in that first section alone. Really happy with those corners, but then ended up going back to 3 seconds, so it was almost a stalemate, and I was starting to lose hope, thinking I was going to pass him. But then I was thinking, you know, normally guys in first and all that try to extend the tyres life one lap longer. I'm like, well, if I pit on lap 6, I could go full output of power, full revs, that's it. And try and, if I stay within this 2-3 second mark, I can have an attempt to leapfrog him in the pit stops, which is another strategy that Formula 1 drivers use. You know, you got the fresher tyres, so you're able to go faster while they're on tyres that are worn, and you know they're not going to post fast lap times. But the idea is, you know, if they pit a lap later, their tyres are going to be a lap more fresher than yours, regardless, throughout the whole race. That's the risk you run. And then I feel like I'm catching up to him, and then that's why I say this right here, like, you know, yeah, I feel like I'm catching, but the pit stops there. The pit stop I have to take is on the next lap. So maybe if I can at least get into some sort of DRS range just to close the gap more and try and leapfrog him in the pits. And I was gonna do honestly the opposite pit stop strategy to what he was doing. If he came in lap 6, I was gonna come in lap 7. If he didn't come in lap 6, I was gonna go. So we look at the split times here, 1.6 seconds. I realise you close up a lot of distance on this first corner here, but you don't want to outbrake yourself too much, otherwise you have what happened to me in the qualifying. Really overusing my tyres too much. But yeah, I get so nervous when I'm getting closer to what I need to. I drive better with a car in front of me rather than on a breakaway and lead. It's hard for me to keep consistency, even though I talk about that a lot. I'm like, ooh. A second, so I'm like, oh, I want to get DRS, come on, stay there, sort of stop up this corner. I'm like, no! Flip, reverse, almost hit the back wall, go to take the line, and boom! Ferrari, lots of tyres, I'm trying to get out of there. I get a penalty for that, the safety car comes out, all hell's broken loose, and I'm just so depressed at this point. And so now you see me driving back, and then I noticed late that my front wing's completely gone, and so I've got no grip, and so here I am losing it again and can put back onto the track. And whilst I'm invisible, it's legal for a car to get by me because I'm not technically there. Mate, I should have really changed that setting in the game, that ghost setting, because really you have to drive out of there in real life. But yeah, and again, no front grips. I couldn't turn, they put me back on. Come on, whoever passes me, I need to get into the pits. The safety car's out, I gotta get in the pits now. And here I'm thinking that everyone should be diving in the pits, but there you just see Webber go on ahead. And, you know, so a lot of people did pits. They were sticking to their strategy, but that just seems weird. Normally, you'd take the opportunity to change your tyres because you're not going to go fast behind the safety car. And so I'm like, okay, well, let's just get back out here and see what happens. And I'm looking at, I'm in 10th, and like, okay, 11th now. I'm like, well, that's not bad after getting that done. Not also forgetting about me having to serve a drive-through penalty at this point. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's not too bad, because that's not a drive-through penalty, that's changing tyres. So you went to the pits for a purpose. A drive-through penalty is where you just drive through the pits without actually pitting. So here I am trying to accelerate. It's funny trying to go max speed while the safety car's out, because the game just doesn't let you. You can be behind a guy and holding down the accelerator button to the point you almost snap it off, but the game's not going to let you go past them. You're going to be in a formation, which is what real Formula 1 cars do. They don't hold the throttle, they got to control it themselves. So here I am just, trying to edge the guy ahead of me to go faster, because I'm like, I know Webber's got to come into the pits then for tyres, and he's probably doing it next lap. And yet he's up so high, people will be going slow behind the safety car. So there's a safety car on the other side of the map that pulled in, and there's people pitting. And so I'm like, awesome, we need a come on, hurry up guy, and trying to edge him on, let's go, we need to pass these guys, because you can pass them all in the pits. And then he decides to pull into the pits too. And I'm like, oh great, so I'm able to accelerate because there's no one ahead of me. He doesn't recognise the cars in the pits yet, and by the time the last guy comes out, I'm in 7th position. So I'm like, oh my god, this is awesome. This hasn't turned out to be too bad for me. And I noticed the yellow dot, 2 cars ahead of me is my teammate, so I'm like, oh no, my teammate's ahead of me, gotta get back ahead of him. So I'm like, okay, this is salvageable now, I'm saving fuel, I've got the revs set to lean, the slowest, in order to save fuel, and then that way when the safety car comes in I can set it back to high revs. And yeah, you see here, I'm a slave to whatever Webber's pace is. I can't go any faster. I can't purposely overtake him, which is, I might have to look at the settings and see if I can change all that, meaning I can control what I do behind him. But I know that was in the last Formula 1 2012 that I was playing on the Xbox, that was in there too, so you didn't really have a choice. And then like, oh, safety car in this lap, so everyone's slowed down because now the guy in first is the safety car, who I still don't know at this time. And so I'm like, ooh, okay, let's do this. I'm getting ready to set my revs up. I get a radio voice saying, warm up your tyres and brakes. And then boom, penalty reminder. I'm like, oh crap, I've still got to drive through. And it's like drive through within 4 laps. No. So, okay, I'm accelerating with other people, I've set the revs to full, and I'm drafting Webber. And he as well is drafting the guy that's in front of him, that's why he's able to maintain such a high speed as well. And I dive to the inside, make contact with someone there, and I got a warning, so I'm like, oh god, that's just what I need, but I've got to gain as much position as possible. But and I'm second, so I'm like, oh great, and thank god that was just a warning, otherwise I would have been just plain old disqualified. And I get past Rosberg right here fairly. So I'm like, okay, now I've got to put some distance. I'm unrealistic. I'm like, not put distance between the 3 guys that are behind me, but all the others behind them. Because sometimes you'll have slow cars in front of faster cars that hold them up, a good second to a lap. So I'm not worried about the 3 cars that are behind me. I'm just like, concentrate on the lap times. It's telling me I've got 3 more laps until I have to do the penalty, so I'm like, okay, I need to be consistent here, need to be fast, let's go.
We have a little bit of spare fuel. We should keep an eye on it over the next few laps.
Setting faster slaps as well. I'm like, yes. Just what I need. I'm out of DRS range. When that comes back up, I believe, if it's not next lap, it's a lap after. I'm ahead of my teammate, but like I said, I'm surrendering to the fact that I'll probably be behind him.
You have a 2-second gap to the car behind. We need to keep it clean so he doesn't get a chance
I'm like, oh god, concentrate, don't stuff up where I just stuffed up earlier. So like inside my head right now I've got if anyone's mostly, or some of you may not know what I'm talking about. After that stuff up there, some of you may not know what I'm talking about when I say Initial D. It's a Japanese anime. If anyone's seen the cartoon series of the anime, and it's, you know, they have good racing sort of songs to it, Wings of Fire and stuff like that. And in my head, that's all that's going. Like, no one lives in Tokyo. I'm just concentrating, trying to keep nice straight. Concentrate on the acceleration, squeezing the throttle. And I'm like, you know, Rosberg keeping up okay. I know he's probably going to pass me. I need to create gaps over the other people.
Watch out for the car behind. He's only 2 seconds down on you.
Seems to be working. My pace is good. Set the fastest lap once. I'm already 1.3 seconds ahead of the previous, I don't know if that's the previous lap or the best lap that I obviously set. I guess I can find out in this audio once I've crossed the start finish line. I've got to go into the pit, so no fastest lap for me. Yeah, because over the radio they said you must come in. To so you go through penalty now, or else you'll be disqualified. So that just plain and simply told me that I had to come in right now. So I come out 7th, and I'm positive. I'm like, okay, this is good, you know. Gonna get some points, and at this point I'm thinking, you know, where's Alonso? I have no idea where Alonso's ended up.
Try and close the gap to the car ahead. It's currently 2 seconds.
So I know I've only got 2 laps, so I'm pushing, trying to get into DRS range, but failing. Gotta get into DRS range right now with Massa. Brake here, brake lane, get on the accelerator, like, you know, a little bit just to some sort of hope. Press the line, I'm pressing the DRS button rapidly, I'll press twice to close.
If we take this guy, we gain some points.
Pushing the car max down, and dive down the inside,
You've got to leave room for other cars. We can't take too many penalties.
and this is where I'm wrong, where, you know, just be very careful when passing. I can't afford to take any more penalties, and so I'm like, oh crap, you know, they may disqualify me any more penalties, so, you know, I pass right and running outside, and like this, I have my teammate Webber ahead. I know Rosberg's somewhere up there. I'm not sure who's second at the moment. But, you know, I'm thinking this is good. If only I can get into the DRS range of Webber, maybe I'll have a shot third. Pushing, hoping, and nothing. Yeah, pushing way too hard. Just worried that I might have been overtaken, but no, they're pretty slow. And just like, okay, fourth. Just have to find out where Hamilton's ended up. Rosberg wins. Someone else comes second, I cannot remember. And here I am in fourth. I'm happy with that. I beat my teammate. I've done the objectives. All that with an extra pit stop compared to everyone else. Well, pretty much a pit stop. And then I find out Lewis Hamilton is sixth. So I'm like, well, in the end, what I only gained, what is he, 4 points compared to if I came first and he came second, I would have got, 6 points. So, you know, process of elimination, it's better off me finish first, him second compared to...
You're still second in the Drivers' Championship.
So here I am looking through the stats, looking through the constructors, still second. Wasn't sure whether I gained up on the Mercedes team, I believe. And I'm like, yes, you know, it's, you know, who wouldn't be happy after that, you know? You've had a very poor qualifying, your car got, you should have been knocked out of the Grand Prix right then and then with that big smash. It seems unfair that Alonso got knocked out. And there I am thinking that I'm not going to get to level 9 and I skip it. And I'm like, and then I'm like, you get no more contract offers. And then I'll look at the next race. It's going to be a wet qualifying possibly. And say my normal stuff like don't forget to like and subscribe. I will catch you guys on the flip side. Ciao. See you guys.